is Zoe Whitehead from The Whisper Tree, and in this video I wanted to talk to you about the importance of being more balanced in your or between your thinking mind and your intuitive mind. So I kind of separate it and talk about two minds because I just find it easier to explain it like this. Now this is something that I've been working on, kind of the last year or so, and quite intensely recently. I've been really drawn to kind of being more balanced within the two minds so that I can then come more into my heart and working in a kind of deeper way and deepening my connection into my heart. This helps with my energy work. I'm an energy healer. I'm actually a transference healer practitioner. So I work with energy, I work with frequencies, and I feel that by kind of going deeper into the heart and doing what I call more heart mastery, this allows for my practice to kind of deepen as well. But in order to do this, what I've noticed recently is that I really need to be more balanced in the way that I use my two minds, my thinking, logical mind, and my more heartfelt, intuitive mind. And what I've realised now is that when I kind of first started to step into my spirituality, started my journey many years ago, I definitely had this misconception that I had to be totally intuitive, and that really was to the detriment of my thinking mind. And yet now I've come to realise that in fact we need our thinking mind, absolutely we do, and it is part of who we are as well. So this is very much what I felt drawn to do in this video about, so I could kind of explain my own journey within it and my realizations and how I'm kind of creating more of this balance between the two and why I feel it's important. So the first thing I need to explain is, as I said, I'm a transference healer practitioner, so I run energy, this kind of deeply shifting transformative energy on my clients. So I see many clients, mainly women, but I do have some male clients because I resonate more with the female energy. But however, what I have noticed, amongst the people that I know, and in particular my clients, because I'm working at that level, is that there are imbalances between these two minds. So we have what I like to call the intuitive mind, as I said, the heartfelt mind, which is kind of characterized by these more female traits. And when we're too much, although I don't like to use that negatively, but when we have a lot of female traits and not so many masculine traits or aspects to our personality, because we have both, whether we're male or female, we have both. But we can have imbalances within them. And I'm talking extreme cases or more extreme cases here. But what I'm finding is that those that have the more female traits or aspects, they're the ones that tend to be, very intuitive, very in tune with their emotions, very nurturing, very gentle, very heart-centered, sometimes a little bit in sacrifice because they feel that, they kind of want to nurture everybody else and they don't often put themselves first, by any means. But what I do find as well, in all of them as a common trait, and I know that I can sometimes get like this, is that they are incredibly ungrounded if they're very much in their female traits. And this all sounds like a lovely place to be, doesn't it? But the problem is that when we're very ungrounded, we find it really difficult to kind of navigate just daily tasks, daily life. I'm talking about 3D, the routine, all of that they'll find difficult, or we will find difficult if we have more of those female traits within us and lack more of the masculine traits, so why we're not in balance. So that's something that I have experienced and have seen amongst my clients, and also myself as well, included at times. I've also noticed that sometimes, if we're very intuitive, we can become very psychically open. And I have had one or two clients where this has caused problems for them in their lives because they haven't understood really what's happening with themselves. And they find it very difficult to cope with. So this can sometimes tip them over a little bit. But I think the main thing is just this difficulty when we're ungrounded to kind of just function on the day to day. It just becomes really tricky to anchor in any long-term projects, any projects really. Because we lack those masculine traits of discipline, action, drive, So that's the first kind of imbalance that I've seen and come across. The second one, the other side, is when we're too much in our masculine traits. So we have a lot of masculine traits, nothing wrong with that, but to the detriment of the female traits. So we, the female principle, feminine principle, we kind of lack in that. So there's an imbalance. So these tend to be the clients that I draw towards myself, because I feel that I was definitely very much like this before I started my spiritual journey. And that this is characterized, or how I see it, is that when we have a lot of masculine traits and we kind of lack more the female traits, we find it hard to nurture, like self-nurture, self-love, and also nurture others. This is something that doesn't feel like it comes naturally to us, because we don't have those aspects or hold that energetic aspect within us. These people tend to be the overthinkers. That was definitely me. Very much on the mental, not listening to our intuition at all. So finding it exceptionally hard to make just perfect decisions for ourselves in the moment, because we're just so cut off from that intuition, that flow of thought, that spirit talking to us. So I just see it as this, I kind of use this analogy of, people being blown in the wind. They might be worrying about something, so they know they have to make a decision, so they talk to one person, then talk to another, and the problem is that everyone has their own kind of emotional outlook on things. They all come from their own experiences, which might be fine for them, but that might not be right for you. So really what we need to be doing is listening to our intuitive voice, our inner guidance. So when we have more of those masculine traits, this is what I find happens for us. We may be able to action, and we have drive, and we can anchor things through into our reality, but we find it difficult to listen to our intuition, our inner guidance. So decision becomes quite difficult for us. So these imbalances, whether it's more within the female principle or more within the male or masculine principle, these imbalances will bring about kind of more negative emotions of frustration, obviously, because you're not really operating in a balanced way. A bit of fear, maybe because it's like we're disconnected because we're not in balance within ourselves. We cannot have this connection, this heartfelt connection. It's like we have this triangle, which I'm now really starting to see. We have the two minds in balance, and then it enables us to open up our heart connection, deepen our heart connectivity. So when we're kind of in balance with our two minds, we don't have this connectivity. So we're not connected to spirit, we're not connected to our true selves, our higher selves. So things just become really difficult for us sometimes, and then if we lack faith and trust in the universe, and we don't appreciate and feel the love of the universe and feel that we're guided and protected and cherished, we feel really, well, I know I definitely felt very insecure and fearful, and at the mercy of my emotions, and at the mercy of events and circumstances that were setting up in my life, because I had no notion that these were all for my higher good. So kind of having this heartfelt connection, this deeper connection, is so important, because it gives us so much more. It's like it opens up a whole world for us. So this is very much my message in this video, is that we do need to be, more balanced, more in balance within our two minds, what I like to call the two minds. So when we have more of this triangle, so we're balanced within those two minds, intuitive, logical, and this allows for this deeper, I feel, kind of, you're going to start moving more into a kind of deeper, heartfelt connection. Because what I feel happens, and what I notice happens with me, is that I allow my intuitive mind to lead. I always lead with the intuitive feeling to a situation, but the thinking mind then comes into play, as in, okay, this needs to happen for me, for my higher good. What do I need to do to enable it to happen? I mean, the intuition is going to give you a certain amount, but the mental mind is very good at ordering and being very practical. And just those masculine traits kick in, where it allows you to take action. You're driven to do it. So, it all works in perfect harmony if we're balanced. So when we have all three in balance, with the heart connection kind of deepening, we're listening to our inner guidance. We're listening to spirit. We're building faith, our faith and trust in the universe. We feel divinely guided. It almost feels like you get a bit of fear, but it quickly goes, it quickly dissipates, because you know that you're so protected all the time. You can take that inspired action thanks to your mental mind, your thinking mind. You have this inner knowing that starts to develop as well. And, you know that the difficult, tricky times will pass. You just know that, and you know that they're all tests, kind of divinely orchestrated by the universe anyway, to give you golden opportunities to grow in the way that you need to grow. And also not forgetting that, when we're more grounded and we're in balance, we're gonna respond to life and everyday life in a much more calmer, balanced, accepting way. We're going to be more routined, we're going to be more disciplined within that, we're going to be able to complete our tasks. Everything will flow so much easier. So I cannot say enough, about trying to be balanced in both. So the other thing that I wanted to just mention briefly as well is that, or at least explain how I started to really bring more of a balance within my two minds. And, for me personally, was that I tried to bring more integrity to my spiritual practice. And what I mean by that is, every day I wake up and I have a little bit of a ritual where I do a bit of a meditation. I run energy, like part of the transference healing energy on myself, and that kind of really helps to keep me balanced. I love it. I just love the feel of it. So I do that. I kind of connect into my heart, and I do a bit of a little yoga routine, but up until I'd say quite recently, I was quite sort of mental about it, and I'd be like, right, I've got to get up at 5:45 in the morning, I've got to do my energy work, then I've got to connect in, then I've got to do my physical yoga flowy movements, and I was very mental about it. But now I'm trying to bring more, be more heartfelt about it, and softer and more gentle, and I guess by that more in integrity, because I realised that it was for my just for my higher good, just felt better and felt more natural, I suppose. And also, I try to be, or bring more integrity into my my kind of work, my energy work, with my clients, and that I don't want to be too mental about how am I going to find new clients and how am I going to keep them. And I try and just tune into the group, see what they need to hear, divine up a card, and run the energy in the most heart connected way that I can. But also I allow my mental body to come in and guide me, or give me steps and drive to get myself out there, for example, more, so I can attract more clients. And do you see what I mean? I try and use the two and be more in integrity with that, because I feel that's really, really important. But I do find that doing that, it's allowed this kind of balance to become more developed or more enhanced. So as time goes by, what I've been finding for myself is that my heart connection is kind of deepening now, And I feel that my kind of higher gifts and attributes are sort of coming in a little bit more. You know, I'm starting to see a lot more visions, or a lot more clearly. I always did, but a lot more clearly now, so that, you know, when I'm working in with past lives of my clients, I can then give them those details, and they can, you know, use those to help them in particular ways to release blockages and things like that. So that's been a real sort of higher attribute or gift, as far as I see it and understand it, that has come through and is coming through more and more for me. So that's a lovely thing. And what you'll find is, as your heart connection kind of deepens, you'll be mastering more in your kind of spirituality. Your consciousness will be opening and evolving, which is always a plus, obviously. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to share, like or comment if you know, if you feel drawn to doing so. Thank you.